Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, Childhood Finds. Thank you for joining me for the weekly What Sold video. We're going to be going over items that sold from October 20th through October 26th of 2025. It was a good week of sales. I am very happy with it and hoping it continues to build as we continue to get further into fourth quarter. So really hopeful for that. I've also continued to work more on my social media, which is why I didn't get another long form out last week. I've been doing more 1 to 3 minute videos. I'm going to start putting a few of those on this channel. I think they're important for those that really just want quick bits of information. I know a lot of people say I talk too much, so hopefully those are a happy medium that I put into my shorts category that you can get bits of knowledge. And I've been growing my TikTok. That's actually going pretty well growing over there. I've been surprised. It's a whole nother beast trying to figure out what videos work there, but it's been interesting. I've also been working on Facebook, and that one is I've got a couple people commenting and they're amazing. So that one's going to take some more time to grow. Facebook, I just have not figured out well enough, I believe. So I'm going to continue working on that. So let me tell you about what sales I had this week. I had 68 total listings sell, and that was on 4 different platforms. And I actually did pretty good with my cross-listing sales. I'm very happy with them this week. So I had 58 of those were sold on eBay. 6 of them were on Poshmark, and that's high for one other platform. And then I had 3 on Etsy and 1 on Mercari. I didn't have anything on Depop this week, but I am happy with that. I am cross-listing more and trying to focus on that, especially with this time of year. I was just hoping that would help bolster my income, and so far, so good. And the total value that sold, it was 2,500 plus on eBay, and then another 500-ish onto the other platforms. So it's been a good week, and I'm still hoping for more, but I'm very happy with it. Life has continued to be pretty busy lately, personal stuff, and of course my truck is continuing to be a tiny little monster. Not tiny, a giant monster. And so that's been frustrating, but otherwise, it's just pushing through. I'm just trying to work as much as I can right now. This is the home stretch. I didn't get to go to any sales on Saturday. It's finally starting to get to that point where sales are just getting a lot more scarce. So I think that'll start to be the norm as we continue, unless the weather is nice, but it was rainy and icky and nobody wanted to have sales. So I don't blame them. So guys, I have quite a few to share with you today. So let's get started. We're going to start with a spiral cookbook. This, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. It's a Polish kitchen cookbook from Roseville, California. This one sold for best offer of $17, and I paid $1 for it at an estate sale. Here's a Super Bowl 1990 NFL sweater, size large. Broncos versus 49ers. It's definitely football season, so that makes sense why this is selling. I went ahead and just took a best offer of $19 on it. I do believe I paid $5 for this, so still a decent profit. This one's been listed for a long time because it has free shipping on it, and it has been years since I did free shipping on media. This is an Ecological Isolation in Birds by David Lack, 1971, and it sold for best offer of $21. Here is a Pioneer Easy Load 12 by 12 American Flag memory book, and this one did sell for $19.76. These aren't always the best pickup, unless you don't mind packing them, because they take an extra few minutes to get packed. But I think I paid $1 for this at a yard sale, so still not bad. This is an Omak Stampede 1985 belt buckle, and this did sell for $49.95. It sold in a few days. This one I couldn't find an exact of. I just found similar, so I kind of had to make an educated guess on the price. But I have, just about $1 into this belt buckle. This one is All the King's Men by Robert Penn Warren, signed Franklin Library, and it sold for $49.95. I will say it's a little weird sometimes on the solds right now because I've been doing a couple just daily what solds on my other social media platforms. So my brain keeps telling me, you've already shared this. But do know that YouTube is always going to be my main, it's always going to be my favorite to post on, but I just want to get the other ones growing. And if it ever comes to the point that I get monetized on TikTok, I'll share that kind of stuff with you guys if anyone's interested in it. Just so you know, it takes to get your videos monetized. They have to be over a minute over on TikTok. You have to have 10,000 followers and 100,000 views in 30 days. So it not impossible to get to, but it definitely takes some work. This is Carter's Child of Mine Blue Dog Lovey with Baby Rattle, and it sold for $11.95. You know, I usually pay $1 or so for these. These have been listed for quite a while, but I didn't pay much for them. They're 2000 Fisher Price Sesame Street stocking Big Bird. It had to be the right buyer because they were the same item, so I imagine maybe someone with twins or a couple nieces and nephews that they got these for them is what my brain says. But they sold for $14.95. This is another cookbook. It's Prince of Wales Island, Alaska Culinary Creations Cookbook. This one was signed by the chef, and I ended up just taking a best offer. I think it was like $14.50. No, it's not exactly what I wanted, but I don't think I found this exact one, so I just kind of picked a price. And $14.50 from $1, I'd take that on cookbooks. This is a little figurine. It's a 1954 Napco Boy March Angel figurine. This one surprised me because usually these kind of figurines I don't look at a ton because I feel like they're everywhere. But this one sold for $35.95. This one was a surprise. Look up this brand. Eastern Accents, Aiden Houndstooth Super King Duvet Cover. I ended up just taking a best offer of $240 really quickly because I kind of picked a price. It's hard to know exactly what to price these at because the prices on the website, this one was over $1,000 on the website for just a duvet cover. It's basically just like a pillowcase for your duvet. It's wild. I think I would explode if I spent $1,000 on one piece of my bedding. But everybody has their own things that they enjoy and their things they want to spend their money on. So I don't judge that. I'm just saying I would explode. But it sold for $240, and I got it from my local source here, and it sold, I just took the offer within a couple days. I did pre-box this, so it made it so much better. This is It Cosmetics Bye Bye Foundation, and this one sold for $35.95 on the sale price, and I have, I think, $3 or so into each of these. This is Cool the Law Hoodie Jacket Men's Brown Canvas, and I probably could have got $10 more for this. I ended up selling it for $58. It sold quickly and it's desirable, but I just wanted to move it. Why not? It's the time of the year. This is The Descent of Man, Charles Darwin, Franklin Library. $7 into this one, and it sold for $59.95. This is a peacock hand-blown glass Christmas ornament. I don't remember where I got this from, but it sold for $13.45. These ones were also a surprise. This is Willaco, I think, distance half tight, black large men's shorts. They're like compression shorts, and they had a 10-inch inseam. I just took the best offer for $60 when I got it because, these were like nothing. They were so light and small. So this was a great surprise. Here's another belt buckle. Not all Coors ones are worth a lot, but this one seemed to be a more scarce one. And it's a Coors Beer Rocky Mountain belt buckle, and it sold for $40 very quickly. Here's some Hampton Silversmiths. Central is the pattern, and it was 4 dinner forks and sold for $26.95. This is a sterling silver Danecraft wheat circle pin brooch. This has been listed for a few months, so I just took the best offer of $15 when I got it. So I know I should have listed these separate. I probably would have made more money, but I had no desire to. They were all the same style, same size, and same condition. So I put all of these together, and I will definitely do that in the future if it happens. It's a lot of 4 Wrangler jeans, $31.30, and it sold for $40.46. I probably could have got more, but again, I am totally fine with that. This was the big surprise of my belt buckles. I think this will probably be one of the most valuable ones. And this is a Jack Boyd Modernist Brutalist Spore Brass Bronze Belt Buckle. This one sold very quickly for $149.95. This is an etched floral photo frame easel back decorative tabletop, and it was a 4x6 and sold for a best offer of $19. Again, I love the decorative frames, but guys, they do take time to sell, so don't expect them to be very fast movers. This is Nubble's Crystal Palace yarn lot of 4. And I got this at a yard sale. It wasn't from my big yarn buy, but this sold for $17 on a best offer. I have maybe $1 or $2 at the most into it. This is Arbonne Nutrimin C RE9 cream, and it sold for $49.95. The wild thing about this one is it is old. Like, I think the expiration was 2004 old, 2008. And so that one, you know, someone has to really want that. This is pretty cool. It's an Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Pool of Radiance IBM big box, and it sold for a best offer of $26 and went international. This is Dublinier's James Joyce Franklin Library, and this sold for $34.95. And then that same buyer came and bought this one as well, and it's Ulysses James Joyce Classic Greatest Books 20th Century, and this one sold for $34.95. And that's why I do like to try as I can when I get big lots to list them relatively quickly, because I do have a lot of repeat buyers. I had a lot of buyers that would come and buy a bunch of yarn. I had multiple buyers that came and bought multiple manuals, and same with my Department 56. So I do like to try and get my lots up decently fast, because a lot of buyers like to get a deal on that shipping when they buy more than one. This is Klein Tools Belt Buckle First Edition, 125 years, and it sold for $34.95. I recognize this because I've sold a couple Klein Tool pieces before and knew that it was a decent brand, and that sold quick. This is Welcome Paris Gray Mohair Blend Yarn, and this was $21.50. I am curious how much yarn I have left from my yarn buy. Probably a couple grand worth, but definitely a lot of it is sold. It really went quick. This is a vintage Made in Poland striped pink floral glass Christmas ornament, just a single little petite ornament, and it sold for 10% off, so around $13.50. This is a Stephen King 3-novel Barnes & Noble collectible edition. It had Carrie, The Shining, and Salem's Lot. Honestly, if I was in a place again where I was keeping a lot, once I get out of debt and start getting a nice emergency fund, I'll probably start letting myself keep a little more. But this one I would have. It was a very pretty edition, and it sold for $34. I just got this at a rummage sale. This is a Brother 2-pack high yield toner, and I just got this from my source, and I have $30 into it, and it sold for $100. Toner is just one of those things. You price it well, it goes very quickly. This is Doctrines of Salvation, Joseph Fielding Smith, and this was a 3-volume set. Sold for $21.95. I have 50 cents into each of the books. And then just a few from my other platforms. This is one of the more risque buckles. I knew this one would be one of the first to go, and it was. And it's Mustache Rides 5 cents enameled brass belt buckle, $31. I was surprised it sold on Poshmark first, though. I really was banking on Depop to get this one. This is an English Bulldog wearing sunglasses plaque mount decor, metal with red accent, and this sold for $18. That I got for either 50 cents or $1 at a yard sale. This is a Fisher-Price Hold the Phone electronic talking game. I believe this was $5 in an estate sale, but it's been listed a long time. I actually realized it had been delisted at some point from eBay, so I'm glad it sold because it's been up for a while, and this did sell for $60 on Poshmark. And then this is one of my absolute oldest listings. I mean, years old. And it's hand-painted Delft Blue Cat Salt and Pepper Shaker set. My goal is not to have items sit this long, but it happens. These have probably moved 4 times, but off they go. And then finally, we have Brass Metal The Thinker bookends. These ones were cool and different, and they sold for $32.95 on Etsy, which I expect these to sell on Etsy. So guys, sales are going pretty good. I am happy with them. I'm going to try to list a bunch this week and try to get up more videos. I also like the 1 to 3 minute videos that I've been doing too, because it helped bring in some subscribers on this channel. So I'm going to keep toying with that. I still want to try to do 2 longer form videos a week here. But if I don't, then I'll try to do some of those other shorter ones as well. So guys, thank you for joining me, and as always for your support as I continue to change in my business and grow, and your patience, because I'm not as good at responding to messages and emails and comments as I should be, but I do work through them. I always have it on my mind and try to do some every day, as because I appreciate your guys' time watching my videos and making comments and reaching out to me. So guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.